Storytelling feels like a lost art these days. In the age of technology, most folks spend more time staring at screens than looking at each other. But there was a time when the best entertainment was sitting around a fire listening to your favorite uncles spin the same yarn for the millionth time, and somehow it was just as good as the first. That's how it worked in the Ozarks. The lore of these hills wasn't kept in libraries or neatly bound books. It was carried in voices, passed across porches, kitchen, tables, the campfire. Stories were the library, and they weren't just for fun, they were survival. A ghost story about not crossing the creek after dark. Really, it was a warning about snakes and critters. A funny yarn about a man who ate the wrong berry and spent 3 days in the outhouse. That was a folk medicine lesson you'd never forget. You may not know the plant's Latin name, but you sure will remember that berry. The Ozarks are thick with myth and legend, too. Folks talked about the spook lights over the hills, glowing orbs that danced and disappeared without a trace. They hung witch balls in their windows to ward off bad spirits. And they told of granny women, healers who doctored with herbs, whispered prayers, and a little mystery. Then there were the colorful characters that became legend in their own right. Old-timers told about Old Blue, the faithful hunting dog who could outsmart a bear and follow his master even into the afterlife. Or the tales of the Bald Knobbers, vigilantes who rose up in the 1800s. Depending on who told it, they were either honest heroes keeping order or villains stirring up fear. And let's not forget the tall tales, like the hoop snake that could grab its tail and roll downhill after you, or the booger dog waiting on the edge of town to keep kids from roaming too far. Whether you believed them or not, these stories shaped how people lived, moved, and respected their world. That's the power of storytelling. A plain fact slips away, but a story wrapped in humor, danger, or wonder stays with you. Myths weren't just made up for fun. They carried values, warnings, and truths dressed in mystery. They reminded folks to respect the land, respect the unknown, and remember they were a part of something much bigger. Books can burn, paper can be lost, but a story told in a familiar voice, one you trust, well, it lives on. It's history. We breathe it in, memory with a heartbeat. And in hard times, humor was the best medicine. If you could make someone laugh while teaching them a lesson, you didn't just pass on wisdom, you made it unforgettable. So when I tell these stories, I'm not just filling the air, I'm keeping the Ozark myths and memories alive. From spook lights to granny women, from Old Blue to the Bald Knobbers, carrying the voices of the past into the present and making sure the spirits of these hills keep breathing, one tale at a time. And who knows, if you sit with me long enough, you just might hear one of those tales yourself.